Like, what's the point of this when you could just hop over there and then hop over there? Like, we'll have a big fence on one side and a little fence on the other. That's stupid. If you're gonna have a fence, put the same amount of fence around all sides. Because I could just jump over that and climb on top of there and jump over this. Like, this has got big sharp things, but why would I go over this when I can just hop over the nice wooden one over there? That makes no sense. They obviously were not thinking when they designed this. And I see it all the time. Like, you see big fences. You see fences with barbed wire fences that you see fences with barbed wire that you could just walk around and then hop over a little tiny fence. Like, it doesn't, I don't get it. They must think people are stupid.
So, how did you get into fences?
It was the summer of 1987 that I really started appreciating them. I had a summer job in a fence factory, and that summer the crew made probably close to 73,000 fences.
And
over just the 2 months.
So, are certain fences, more valuable or stronger, or?
Absolutely. And it depends on what you're putting the fence up for. If you're putting the fence up to protect something, you want to put a big strong fence, big metal fence. You also don't want to make a fence that's out of a metal that's too valuable itself, right? You wouldn't make a gold fence to protect some gold, right? Because people would just take the fence and then they would take your gold. You don't make a diamond fence to protect diamonds. You could make a metal fence to protect cheese. You wouldn't make a cheese fence to protect metal. When I was in elementary school, there was a guy in our class. He had, I guess it wasn't his fault, but nobody really liked him much. He had sort of like a speech impediment. He was generally pretty misunderstood by a lot of people. So he would come to school and sit by himself at lunch, and nobody hung around with him, and he would just always say to himself, I have no fence, I have no fence, I have no fence. And we always thought he was just saying, I don't have a fence, I don't have a fence. We were like, that's a stupid thing. Why would, so we would, kids are mean. So we teased him, you have no fence, you have no fence, you have no fence. And I kind of think about him and wonder whatever happened to him. I hope he's got a fence now. The placement of a fence can be very important. Like, you see this one surrounding a tree, and it's an octagon, right? Goes all the way around. Encircles it. It surrounds it. And it's a similar shape, and those complementary shapes are part of a whole design philosophy in the fence world, right? You can have a fence around a tree in a lobby, you can have a fence in your yard, and you can orient it in the direction of the sun or the moon or north-south or however you want to do it. But it's very important, and not a lot of people pay attention to how their fences are arranged. You can buy books on the subject. Even if you want to, you can get sort of like a beginner's guide to what they call feng shui, and it's all about how to properly align your fence with the other things in your yard or in your home.
I think you're talking about feng shui.
Yeah, feng shui.
Feng shui. Feng shui?
Why would it be called feng shui? Fence shui. It's about how you put your fences together. Yours sounds like Japanese. Yours sounds like something off like a Chinese food menu. I'd like some cabbage rolls and an order of feng shui, please. Some feng shui soup. Some deep fried feng shui with squid eyeballs, please, and thank you, and double the fortune cookies. A lot of the words that we use in our day-to-day language come from fences. This one right here, you'll see this. It's a metal fence, wrought iron they call it, and this is what they call a defense. You hear like defense, like a defense player on a hockey team, or like the Department of National Defense.
Yeah.
This is defense. And then the opposite of that would be offense. Like you like Glenn, I find you an offensive person. Like I can say that sentence. And that also derives from fences, not this type of fence, but the other one.
What is the other type of fence?
An electric fence.
That's where offensive comes from?
Right, the O is like the circuit that is completed when you touch the electrical fence. It closes the loop, you get electrocuted, maybe you die, probably you die. Zzz, zzz, zzz. Now, if you look down here, I don't know if you can see that down there. Can you imagine what it would like? Can you imagine what it would be like to fall and die? You would die. You would impale yourself on one of the many very sharp rods down there. This is where fences really do their job well. Try and get over there right now.
Right now?
I defy you. See, you can't. You can't do it. You can't do it. That's a fence doing its job. That's an ordinary, everyday fence doing what it's supposed to do. Often when I'm asked to speak to groups of young children at a school or a drop-in center, I like to tell stories. And my favorite story is The Three Little Pigs. And it starts off, there were three little pigs. They were brothers, and they all said, I'm going to build a fence. So the first little brother built a fence out of straw. And the wolf came along and blew the fence down and gobbled up the first little pig. And the second little pig said, I'm going to build a fence out of sticks. And the wolf came along and went and blew the fence made of sticks all the way down and ate the second little pig. The third little pig said, I'm going to build my fence out of bricks. So he built it out of bricks, and the wolf came along and jumped over the fence and ate the third little pig. And the moral of the story, what I like children to take away from it, is that if you're hiding from a wolf, build a house.